Good evening. Hey sis, how are you? As you're coming in, please make sure you go ahead and say hey in the chat so I can acknowledge you. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Singlesations. Please, as you're joining into the chat, please make sure that you say hello so I can acknowledge you. Good evening, good evening. I see we are up to 7 people. We'll get started momentarily. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. We are so excited about tonight's topic. My guests are waiting in the wings, and so we will get started momentarily. Good evening. Please make sure you say hello so I can see who's with us on tonight. Good evening. Come in. Make sure that as you're coming into the chat, go ahead and share this onto your page. We want to make sure we get as many people as possible attending tonight's session. This is going to be amazing. My guests are ready to talk about their experiences with online dating. And so we'll get started very, very, very soon. Give it another minute or so. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I am so excited about the Singlesations topic, the online dating do's and don'ts. As you're coming in, please make sure that you share this to your page so that we can get some other people coming in. As you know, we've been, talking about a lot of various topics over the past couple months. And in this session, I believe last month we were supposed to talk about online dating, but we did not get to it. So I wanted to make just a whole session, on this topic because I believe that it is a reflection of the time in which we're living in. I was doing a little bit of research in preparation for tonight's session and found out that in 2020, over $602 million was generated in revenue from online dating. I mean, can you think about that for a second? $602 million was generated from online dating. And also in 2020, the statistics for the number of users for online dating was 42 million or somewhere around that that number. So, I mean, just think about that. There are a lot of options out there. And I believe that this is a very, very good medium if you use it properly and you are very strategic and intentional in your use of online dating. I'm going to go ahead and bring my girl on. She's been riding with me for the last couple of months. And I've just decided if it's not broke, I'm not going to attempt to fix it. So may I introduce to some and present to others Elder J. I'm going to go ahead and bring her on. Good evening, Elder J.
Good evening. Good evening. Hello, people. I see my girl is on here. Terry. I saw Terry already in.
Yeah, I see
So
Terry.
if Terry wasn't gonna come, I was gonna go to bed.
I'm sure she's very happy to hear that. For some reason, I don't see anybody else in the chat. So make sure, because I want to make sure that we're able to look in the comments. And we love to engage in the discussion throughout the night. So please, 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 as you're coming in, just say hello, and let us know you are watching, so that we may acknowledge you. Before we get started, in the next couple of minutes, I want to, bring on my first guest. But before I do that, both Elder J and I have had our own, experience with online dating. And she, y'all see that real, real, real big smile she got on her face right now. She revealed to us during our last session that she met someone. So Elder J, would you like to briefly share, with us, which online site did you guys meet on?
Who are you talking about?
Stop.
It was called Our Time, OURTIM.com.
Okay, and I believe that particular site is for a certain age group.
55 and above.
Okay, 55 and above is Our Time. Okay. Is there any is that the reason you decided to use that site, is because it was segregated to a certain age?
Well, I don't need nobody my kids' age. But no, the thing of it is, I wasn't even going online to look for nobody. I just happened to be on Facebook, and this app kept flashing before my eyes, and it was saying 30 days free. Now, I like some free 99. So it kept saying 30-day free. And I'm like, boy, these old people, hey, what are they on here doing? They ain't doing that because I've been online before. And I decided to go ahead, because I didn't have to pay no money, I decided to go ahead and get on. And when I got on, it was more like a counseling session for me. Everybody I ran into was having some kind of issues, or they just wanted to talk. Most people my age can't do nothing but talk, no way. But anyway, 3 days into my expiration date of being there for 30 days, I think it was like the 28th day, this guy named Lawrence came on. And what caught my attention was he said that he was a widower and that he was trying to figure out the next phase of his life. And I feel like, well, I can talk to him. I know what that's like. I had lost a spouse. And it's been on ever since. I mean, I'm enjoying this company. I'm enjoying the communication. I wasn't going to be online trying to find, I really wasn't online just seeking. I was online just for the company, just for the communication. Plus, like I said, it was free.
Right.
And that's what happened with me.
Okay. Awesome.
I almost think it was prophetic because it was our time. It seemed like everything that we have experienced with each other, communication and otherwise, has been a first time for both of us. He had been married for I think about 37 or 38 years to the same woman, which is what I thought was awesome. He spent like maybe 40 to 41 years with her. He met in college, and she had passed away. Now, those of you that know me, I've been married 4 times because I don't sit around and wait on all this stuff and these miracles y'all be looking for in the sky when y'all going through some trauma. I just have such an anointing for walking away out of foolishness. I do believe in covenant. I believe that, if there's going to be one time, I want it to be that one time. I'm not one that wants to go through all these changes, but I know I'm called to marriage. I love marriage. I don't know if I ever do it again, but I'm enjoying the ride.
Awesome. So as we proceed throughout the evening, Elder Jake and I will, share some of our experiences. But for those of you who may be a little, iffy about even, trying online dating, just open your mind to the possibility, and see what my guests have to share tonight. Some successes and some won't say that they were failures. I will say that they were growth opportunities.
Right.
So,
Right.
so just open your mind just to see, how this particular reading can work for you. And if you have any questions or comments throughout the night, please make sure that you put them in the chat, and we'll acknowledge them as we go. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on my first guest for the evening. I absolutely love, 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 love this couple. I met them probably about 3 or 4 years ago because we attend the same church. And I can't even tell you how or when we, met and started talking, but it's just some connections that, I am grateful for. And this is one of them. So I would like to introduce to others and present to some Jeff and Doris Thompson.
Hi. Hello, Jeff. Hello, Doris.
Hi, Elder JJ.
What did you say, Jeff?
Bring us on. Bring us on.
How y'all doing tonight?
Doing wonderful. So glad to be here.
Yes, thank you for
Awesome.
Yes.
All right,
Amen.
before we get started, you guys want to go ahead and just tell the people a little bit about you before we get into the questions that we have for you?
Go ahead.
Well, just speak for myself or speak for both of us. Well, I'm Doris Thompson, and this is my husband, Jeffrey, and we have been married. May 17th will be
7 years.
7 years. So we're excited for many more to come. Yeah. So, yeah.
And we did meet online. So,
Yeah, we met online.
Yes, while you're here. So I know you guys met on Plenty of Fish, right?
right.
That is correct.
So is there any particular reason that you chose that app?
For me, it was free.
See what I'm saying?
And I didn't have to waste my time, paying $19 for 30 days. You might not meet anybody in 30 days.
Yeah.
So one thing that's great about online dating is at the right-hand corner, there's an X click button that you can click somebody out. If they're not saying what you want to hear, you don't have to entertain it long. You can go ahead and click that button and it's done.
Right.
So read a profile, get to know what a person is about, and give them the opportunity to show them or show you who they are. I mean, I can write anything on a profile.
Right.
The more that you think about this pandemic is, here you have to communicate.
Right.
And if you can't communicate,
Right.
I'm not going to waste my time with you.
Yeah.
Right.
I can't meet you right now. So can you prove to me it's worth my time? And that's one thing that Doris did. Before we even went out, we talked constantly before we met each other. It took 2 years before we even met each other.
Oh, wow. But y'all were long distance as well, right?
Yeah, we're long distance.
Yeah.
Go ahead, LJ.
No, I just been tell Jeff, I like the little skip button. Oh, I love it. when they looking crazy or sounding crazy, I can skip it and block it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
How much different?
Huh?
Oh, I did skip it.
How much distance was in between you guys?
It was about 2 hours. Yeah,
Okay.
so not that far. And if I can elaborate on the question that you asked, why Plenty of Fish? Well, Plenty of Fish wasn't my first choice. I was actually on eHarmony, and then I was Black People Meet and Christian Mingle. Christian Mingle, believe it or not, was the worst. But after
why you say it was the worst?
Christian.
Well, that's Christian, and that's my foundation. But you found the same thing that was on Christian Mingle, eHarmony. Everybody was just flip flopping, but I thought maybe eHarmony, because you had to pay for it from month to month, that it would be better because there would be more serious people. But that's not always the case. But Plenty of Fish, free. And you had more to, and I used the word choose from, more conversation from different people because it was free. So it was more people on there. So that gave you an opportunity to meet different people. So that was one of my reasons for POF.
Well, you think about it now, 7 years ago, it was different. Now it's probably a better website than what it was before. You might be able to interact with that person better now. You might be able to send an instant message. Before, I had to send a login, send a message to her, wait for her to respond, then send another one. It took a little time before we exchanged phone numbers. She had to read what I had to say and like, okay, let me go ahead and see what this guy's about. And that took a little time.
Yeah, it's not like that anymore. Yeah. You don't have to wait. You don't have to wait until the person responds now.
Right. I don't like that way. I don't like. You know what? It's sitting up like you're thirsty, like you're hungry, wait, checking your emails and seeing to somebody, and then when they don't respond, then you think it's, I don't like that. That's when I tell people when I was out there, because I met a former husband on Black People Meet. To me, I don't know what y'all said about that, but Black People Meet to me was the worst. And I came up with my own little process, if you will. Because I tell people I don't online date, I online meet. Because once I meet you, we have to come offline, give me your phone number. I want to make sure you're not catfishing me. I need to know that you're real. You got your 32, at least 15 of them. You know what I'm saying? I just need to know that you're real. I need conversation. Because at our age, and I don't know what you guys' age is, but I'm 60. At my age, I already know what my questions. I don't need to go through them for them to process my question and make it, rewrite it or verbalize it, tell me I can send that or not. No, I'm too old for that. Right. You just need to come on and be real, and I need to look you in your face. Cause you're looking at people's face when you're talking to them. Some that like it, they can't slide by. Right. So you can read them better. I can read them better if I'm looking in your face, because I know what they ask and how to ask. You tell me your name Jimbo, and next thing I know your name Sambo. But they call me Jim for short. I don't need to know all that.
Right.
Yeah, but that's the reason I didn't like eHarmony, because I felt like it was too much of an investment up front. I mean, the profile, just to fill out the profile was like 45 minutes to an hour, and you have to give everything but a DNA sample before you even get in a login good. I'm like, I'm not doing all of this. And then you still may not meet anybody. So I prefer the free options as well, because you can kind of try it out and see what it's about without necessarily having to make a monetary investment. Right. So let me get back to the questions, because we'll just sit here and talk. All right. So this is for the both of you guys. Where would you say you were in your singleness before you met? Would you say would you say that you were content? Why or why not?
Okay. Well, I was really in a good place in my singleness because when I actually physically met Jeff was June. And I remember that January, as the new year came in, you know how you do your New Year's resolutions. I had laid before the Lord. I'm telling you, like literally lay before him, because I was just coming out of a relationship that was heartbreaking, and it was treacherous, and I had a clean slate, and I was like, Lord, you get me over this. I won't do it on my own, and he did. So I just kind of like.
Lord, send me Jeff Thompson. Send me.
So it really was just kind of, free flowing for me. So when we physically met, so we were still talking over the phone, like you said. It was about a year and a half before. We talked, but we were dating other people, even during the time when I was dating other people. But by this time we physically met, I didn't have anything to clean up. I didn't have to, it wasn't complicated. So because I had cleaned everything and we met and it just instantly happened.
Okay.
I
Jeff?
mean, like what she said, because we had spent a lot of time communicating and talking and getting to know each other. So once we finally saw each other face to face, it wasn't nothing new. You know, we took the time building a communication,
Healthy friendship.
you know, a friendship first before anything ever became physical. You know, we knew things about each other's family. We knew each other. So then it was all about finally, you know, I'm in her face and I was supposed to be somewhere. And I'm like, you gonna make me late. She supposed to be in at church. She ain't go to church. And we sitting out here talking, you know, like, okay, you know, I'm breaking another date with somebody else because I really want to see, you know, Doris again. And so with me, I was fine being single. I wasn't trying to really, you know, at the time, you know, on the question, if you remember on Plenty of Fish, I asked you, what are you looking for?
Right.
And everybody keeps saying, I want a husband, blah, blah, blah. No, you just need to find somebody that you can communicate with first.
Right.
You know, the husband or the wife will come in time. But right now, can we just have a conversation?
Right.
Can we go out to dinner? You know, you talk about dating, forget the word dating, just go out on a date. You know, I'm just going out tonight. You can't get to date 2. You got to get past date 1.
Right.
We'll get past the phone conversation, because if you can't talk to me like Elder J said, if you can't even pass this right here, how you think I'm going to sit here and sit in front of you for an hour? I'm not going to do it. I'm going to X you and keep moving.
Right.
Because I'm not going to waste my time. So I was fine. I was meeting other people. But when I met Doris, I was like, okay, I'm going to put everybody to the side and I'm going to focus on just Doris.
So you made that decision after meeting her that first time?
After meeting her that first time, I was like, okay, I'm going to see her again.
Okay.
And then, you know, I was supposed to go to a concert with somebody. And I told the person, I said, hey, do you mind if, you know, you step back? I'm going to take Doris. Because, you know, it was a good friend of mine. And I said, hey, I'll take you out to dinner later. But let me go see where this wants to go. And before you know it, I'm seeing Doris all the time. So,
but you know what? I appreciate you looking like, but I appreciate that, Jeff, because I think a lot of times I think why some people are so skeptical about going online is because people play a lot of games. And I can appreciate when a man is upfront with me and tells me, listen, I'm dating other people. You know, don't make me think I'm the only one and I'm not.
Right.
Because if you lie to me, you take away my ability to make a decision whether I want to deal with you or not.
Right.
All right, but think about this.
But Jeff won in a million. Jeff won in a million. You know, ain't too many brothers finna tell that.
I grew up in the 70s, 80s, in a show called The Dating Game. You don't think you are contestant 1, 2, or 3? You fooling yourself, because you're not the only person. Because it's online, I could talk to 4 or 5 different people because I'm trying to find the person that would fit me, and I got to go through this person, that person, that person.
Yeah,
it's not. I'm not trying to be no gigolo. I ain't trying to be no player. I need to find the right person that I talk to. And the more I talk to these different people, I'm gonna X people out and say, you know what, this person, no, I don't feel this person. This person right here, I really enjoyed the conversation. I'm gonna try again. Now I might not have met them. I don't have the money to be going out here dating 5 or 7 people. You know, that's a lot of dinners right there. No, I need to just, you know, see if we communicate, if we connect. If we connect, go a little bit further.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think you make a very good point. We're talking about dating do's and don'ts. I think the number one dating do is to be realistic and know that you are not, you know, the only one.
Exactly.
And also know that every potential date is not a potential mate.
Exactly.
That is true. That's true.
And I think, you know, a lot of women especially make that mistake about thinking, oh, they go, oh, he nice, he got a good job, it's my husband. No, you don't even know his last name.
Yeah, exactly.
All you know is his profile name.
Right.
So
and like she said a minute ago, that might not even be it.
Right.
Most time it ain't.
Mhm. Because you think about it, everybody that you meet is their representative. I'm not gonna let you
Right.
meet the real me right now.
Right.
You're not breaking my heart.
Exactly. So I'm
Jeff done
gonna
already said he can't go on all them lunches.
No.
he got to get it right the first time. I remember my friend told me that he was told by his sister that when he had never did online dating, and his wife had passed, and so he was going to try it. And she had told him about a friend that had lined up all the Starbucks in the area just in case he meets somebody. Let's go have coffee. So when he threw that line out at me, I told him, I don't drink coffee. I'm allergic to coffee. Well, he didn't have no backup plan, but I had one. I said, I eat breakfast.
That's good.
But you know what? The great thing about online dating is that you don't have to go somewhere and spend money.
Right.
We don't.
exactly.
Let's just go. Like, if you meet at Starbucks, we can sit right here and have a conversation. Outside,
Absolutely.
we didn't got to go in Starbucks. We just go into a meeting place where we both feel comfortable.
Right.
Right.
But I'm gonna have to have a Pepsi, a Coke, or something, a Sprite, or something. Hot chocolate or something. I ain't going nowhere where that food now don't get me something.
I mean, when I've been
And I don't mind paying for my own. That's what I was telling him, because I said the first thing I said to him, you cheap.
Thanks.
Yeah.
You see, you trying to find out what I have and all that.
No, I ain't trying to find out what you got. I'm trying to find out if I'm gonna be able to eat breakfast. That's all.
Well, if I'm a real gentleman and I'm enjoying our conversation, then I say, hey, what are you doing next week? I would love to take you out to lunch. If I ain't enjoying it, I'm not going to sit here and go nowhere with you.
Right.
Okay. But that's fair. That's fair.
As I was dating on the site, I would meet people in a common area, but a lot of times we didn't. Maybe it was a coffee or a drink or it could have been an ice cream cone, and that was just to see if the chemistry was there. So a lot of people I met one time and didn't meet them anymore. So I think because I don't want to feel like I've invested $40 in you, or you've invested $40 in me, and it's not going anywhere,
Right.
So I think I guess one thing I would say about online dating, you meet different people because you could go out with Larry on Friday and Sam on Saturday and Johnny on Sunday. And you're dating, just enjoy the first initial meet, and then if the chemistry is there, then to me that's when you would start your, maybe you do your little dinner.
You think so?
Dates or stuff. That, and that's not in all cases.
Wait a minute. Let us hear from Brother Jeff. When you think you should?
I heard what she said, but at the same time, before we even went on the date, and I read her profile, and all of y'all take pictures. Did she catch is she what I'm looking for? To my eyesight, was I turned on by her? And then when I finally go out with her, I love the way she smelled and all these different things. Then I'm gonna make the investment, to spend more time with her, because I have to spend more time with her because she has to get to know me.
Right.
And today it's all about texting. I'm not texting Doris. There ain't gonna be no WYD. What you doing? Call her.
Yeah, I like the phone. I like phone calls.
Yeah.
Because if I got any games, since we talk about people playing games, if I have some games, you can recognize game by what the people say.
Right.
Yeah. Jeff, y'all make a very good point, because a lot of times you can have, really good conversation with someone over the phone, and then you meet them and it does not translate in person.
No.
Because I remember I mentioned to you guys back in December, the December Singlesations session that we had, and I was going on a date the next day, and I was, semi, excited about it, but I was waiting because I wanted to see him walk in before he saw me. So I was kind of standing by the wall behind the entrance of the door. And yes, I was.
What you had?
I sure was. I was hiding. And when he walked in, I should have walked the freak out because I was like, oh my God. I should have left. And the actual lunch, it was so awkward. It was so awkward. And I mean, the conversation, it did not flow. And I mean, I think I kind of, just mentally shut down and thinking, what in the world is going on? And I was so happy when that date was over. So it doesn't always, translate, to in person. So I am 100% with a coffee date. I don't
And
have
see,
no problems with a coffee date.
right. So that's why I was just speaking on. Just sometimes just do the initial, a quick meet and greet, and you can get the feel of somebody for that initial quick meet and greet.
Yeah.
No, you haven't. I don't owe you anything. You don't owe me anything. And then
Right.
next time or the next day, you say, okay, let's go for dinner. Or even at that moment, you talk a little bit like, do you want to go for dinner? So
Right.
nobody
Yeah.
has lost anything. So that was, I think, one of my things for dating online.
So talk to us a little bit about your courtship.
Well, after we met the first time, then I think it was about maybe 2 weeks before we physically met each other again.
Mm-hmm.
But Doris would call me because she was a teacher. So she would call me on her way to work. And she called me the same time every day. And so we kept talking. Then when I would get off work, I would call her. And then like I said, I took her to a concert. And I really got a chance to really get to know her. And the next time I came down, Doris cooked dinner for me. And, I was starting to see different sides of Doris.
Mm-hmm.
And so, every time we was together, it was always about spending time. We didn't go all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
But we love to go out to eat. I'll tell you that much. We went out to eat and we did concerts. And,
a lot of concerts.
Just spent time with each other, and really got to know each other. I got to know, meet her daughter. And it took a little while before she met my kids.
Mm-hmm.
But we were just all about just always being around each other. And can you come up this weekend? Can I come up, this weekend? We always talked about it.
And
there might be a chance,
communication.
I might not be able to come. And Doris said she might not be able to come. And then Doris said show up. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
But I was glad to see her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So just building that foundation.
FaceTime.
Yeah. FaceTime became a big thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
so when did you guys discuss expectations and standards? How far into your courtship did you discuss those two things?
It was early.
Yeah, I would say it was real early,
Yeah. Yeah.
But at the same time, we were still really trying to get courting, because we're old school. It's all about getting to know that person that you're with. And I knew she didn't take no junk, just by the way she carried herself. And at the time, I'm too old for games anyway.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so, was I trying to get married again? I don't know at the time. But the more I was around her, I remember coming down to see her and I said, look, I ain't coming in this house unless you are my girlfriend. If you ain't my girlfriend, I'm getting back on the road. I'm going home. So if you're going to waste my time, let me know right now because I'm going home. I can be talking to other people. And so I was asking her, hey, I would like for you to, be the lady in my life. And if you're down for that, let's be exclusive. And then we get a conversation even more. Yeah. So
yes. Awesome. And that's important too, guys, because the even dating language is different. So, back in the, 80s and 90s, if you was dating somebody, y'all was together.
Right.
And that's just what it is. But now, as Jeff and Doris talked about, they were dating or getting to know, several people at the same time. So just because somebody is dating or you're going out on dates, that does not equate a relationship. And I think, especially ladies, we have to make sure that we're not assuming anything.
Exactly.
Always, be clear, get clarity in the situation. But don't think that you're going to get a whole lot very soon, because most times that's not going to happen.
Right.
That's true.
Right.
And what you just said, we all assume. Well, I thought we was in a relationship. No, we were just kicking it. So you have to understand, we're just kicking it, being involved, and are we talking? You might just like I think on the website, back to it. What are your intentions? Right now, I just want to go out. But you got to go through all those things before you become into a main relationship. First of all, you got to be pen pals. You got to be going out. Just I think it had different. I ain't been on the same so long.
Different stages of dating. You're just first you're just basically friends, and then you become exclusive, and then I think that's when you be engaged or something, and then comes marriage. But it was different stages of it. But yeah,
ain't nobody got time for all them steps.
No, you
know what? But what I did, but what I do like about what Jeff said, and you don't find this in most relationships nowadays. He gave her that title. Like he said, I'm not coming in there if I'm not your man or you're not my girlfriend. Because most of these men is not going to give you no title. We just friends, but they want married benefits.
Exactly.
They won't give no title unless they really, But, and I like that he said that because he was serious about it. He wanted to be exclusive. He just wanted this one woman. So all games was gone. I ain't saying you had any game, but I'm just saying he knew exactly what he wanted and he went for that.
Right.
Yeah.
But see,
what was the purpose for whenever he asked a question? I'm sorry, babe, but whenever he put that title on me, it became more serious. We were dating with, we were already dating. We had started dating more. The courtship become dating. It was just more solid. And then it wasn't long after we physically met in June. And see, we were older, physically met in June. Then I met your family in December, and then February you proposed, and then May we were married, like in 10 months. But that's because we both had the same, we was looking for the same thing at that, after our courtship, we realized, okay, this is what we want.
So guys, this is so good.
Ain't it good?
Yes, and I want to bring on my other guest too, because time is just passing by so quick. Can you guys stay on though?
Yeah.
Okay.
They
already married. They ain't got nowhere to go.
So one other thing I wanted to mention that I think is so key is Jeff said that at the time he didn't know if he wanted to be married. And I wanted to ask Doris, did you know that? Why y'all did he?
He didn't communicate that to me verbally, but his actions showed me different, that he was really interested.
Okay. Because sometimes, men will say they don't know if they want to be married. And then just think if Jeff had communicated that and you took that information and just say, well, I'm not talking to him like, I want to be married. I need me a man of God. I need my Boaz. If you had that frame of mind, you could have missed out on something that was the best thing for you.
Exactly.
We talked about it the other day, and I told you, I said, I believe that a lot of women get in the way.
Yeah.
And what you have to do, even though her intent, she would like to get married.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get married, but right now I'm just trying to find somebody that I can connect with.
Yes.
So the more that we hang out, then I will start to look at her in a different way. That's why it didn't take me long to figure out what I wanted, because everything that I had asked for in a woman, I was checking them off. But I had to take the time to get to know Doris. I was like, okay, is she this? Boom. Is she that? Boom. And then once I finally committed to Doris, I had to tell other people, hey, I'm seeing somebody now.
Right.
I wasn't calling them no more. Well, I'm actually talking to somebody right now, and I'm gonna see where this goes. So, I had to let everybody know, yeah, I am actually dating now, because it took a process. Not we don't went on one date, we don't went on multiple dates. Now we're actually seeing each other. So now we are actually dating.
Yeah.
Right.
Just go to Olive Garden don't mean you dating nobody.
Absolutely.
You gotta have to go on plenty of deals.
You mean with that chicken Alfredo and that Olive Garden salad that wasn't a deal? They didn't cut a deal.
You know what, Elder J? I took a girl to. She said she loved Italian food, so I took her to Olive Garden, and she kept looking around. She kept saying, "Well, who are these people?" I said, "That is the waiters and waitresses that work here." But you said you love Olive Garden, you love Italian food, and didn't know how to order anything on the menu. I said, you know what? You are not the one.
Wow. So let's go to and see what people are saying in the chat. So Jeanette, she said every potential date is not a potential mate. Yes, that's one thing that we talked about. We definitely want to make sure we remember that for tonight. Terry says, quick meet in a safe place. Okay. Lakeisha said quality time is important.
Right, it is.
It is.
And let's see. Katrina says that's what I'm talking about. Let's be upfront.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Zanola said definitely need intentions up front because my time is valuable.
Exactly.
That's right, ZZ.
Awesome. All right. Well,
Yeah.
Jeff and Doris are going to stay with us, and we are going to bring up our next guest and bring her into the mix because this is so good. So, Elder JJ, you want to introduce our next guest?
Our next guest that will be coming on is none other than Elder Sandra Hudson. Come on in, girl.
How's everybody?
Hey, sugar.
Hey.
Good. I know we're a little bit tardy bringing you on, but the conversation was just so good. But I was like, instead of, letting Jeff and Doris go, we're going to bring you on and get some background information from you too.
Okay.
And then we're just going to have this discussion together. Does it sound like a plan?
Sound like a plan.
All right. So which online dating app did you use?
I use Match. I use Black People Meet. I use Christian Mingle, and I thought about eHarmony, but just like I think Doris said, it was so. No, I think you said it. It was so much to that. Mm-hmm. Even though they said it was free for a little while, yes. I couldn't do it. It was just too much. I couldn't do that.
Right. So tell us where you were in your singleness before you met your husband, and would you say that you were content? Why or why not?
I was very single. I mean, I had been divorced for over 15 years, and so at that point, but at that time, I really didn't want a committed relationship. I just went on there because my girlfriend said you get 6 months free. And so I signed free. So I signed up, really wasn't looking for anybody. I thought it was interesting, but I just, not that I had a hard time getting a man. I was just doing something. Just to be doing something. So I think with all of those dating sites, when you find one person on one site, you find them on every site.
Right.
That's the way that's what I found out to be.
So which one of those sites did you meet your husband on?
Black People Meet.
Black People Meet. Okay. Mm-hmm. And who made the first contact?
He did.
Okay. He did. And what was it about him that made you respond?
Well, he seemed like he talked that he was settled. He had been married 3 times. But he was looking for someone to date, but also he was looking for a mate. And so, I said, I was in my 50s at that time. I'm 61 now. But I said, okay. And so he lived on the other side of Houston, and I was in Dallas. So he made the first trip up to Arlington, and we met. And actually, he wasn't even my type.
Okay.
But the conversation was good. Everything sound good. And I say that, purposely. It sound good.
So talk to us a little, we'll get more into that a little bit later, but tell us why he wasn't your type.
I'm 5'2", and I normally like a taller man, and he was like 5'7". He was a little guy. I normally don't do little men. I normally do, 170 to 230, 250. So for somebody to be under 170 pounds, that's totally was out of my league. It wasn't something I normally would even give my time to.
Okay.
At all. But I figured that, I've been doing the norm, so let me do something different. But like I say, he seemed to be, and he said that you caught me at the right time. So I was like, okay, we'll give it a try.
So this question is actually for everybody. So, sometimes, especially ladies, we go into, dating and relationships with a whole must needs list of, must haves. Do you sometimes think that this list is what keep women single? And anybody can answer.
I think as you get older, you begin to look to see really what's important.
Right.
And, being in my 50s at that point, I was self-sufficient, so I didn't need a man to take care of me. But I did need him to bring something to the table beside a conversation. And I needed somebody that was just be upfront, because for me, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you, good or bad, but you're gonna know where I stand.
Right. Anybody else want to add something to that?
No, I'm right there with my cuz. Keep talking.
Right. I'm listening to what she said, and I've heard people say, I heard women say, well, I like to wear my heels. So he needs to be a tall person. Okay, continue to wear your heels, be who you are. But he could be a tall person and still go upside your head. You know what I'm saying? He takes everything else off, but he wasn't a good person, but he met your criteria, what you was looking for. But as long as I love you and give you what you need, that's all you need. That's my personal opinion. I'm only 5'7", 5'8", and I'm a big guy. But on my profile page, you can see I'm a big guy. There's nothing hiding, who I am. But at the same time, if you take the time to get to know me, you might find out I'm everything that you was really looking for. But if you put all these stuff that this is what you need, you're gonna miss out on some good people. Just like a man might miss some things because I need this, I need that. No, you really need somebody that's gonna love you.
Right.
Yeah.
On this Monday, I talked out the book of Ruth. And in the book of Ruth, I told them out of chapter 2, Boaz had a plan for Ruth. He provided for Ruth, and he protected Ruth because he told the people, don't go anywhere. Stay right here in my field. Give her more. Protect her. Don't go any other field. So I look at it, there's the three P's, a plan, provision, and protect. And when you look at those three things, that encompasses in everything that a person needs, male or female.
Right. I totally agree. And I, like Elder J said, that, as you get older, but we know there's some old fools. So, it has nothing to do with age, but it has to do with level of maturity. Because you can, be 40, 50, 60 and still make some dumb decisions.
Right.
And still want what you want and get in your own way. So, and I have definitely have to say that what I thought I wanted and what I know I need today are two different things. And I'm grateful that I recognize the difference.
Right.
That's good.
Okay.
And like you said, hey, I'm sorry, you're an older person now. You're not the same person you were in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. You're different, you know.
Amen.
Your wants and
Amen.
needs would change, you know.
Right.
For me, I didn't think I was going to date Doris, but Doris was too far away from me.
Yeah.
You know, but because of the connection we had, the drive didn't matter then.
Right. Absolutely. Elder Sandra, tell us a little bit about your courtship.
Well, I met him in June of 2014.
Mm-hmm.
He lived, like I said, on the other side of Houston, and he would come up twice a month. I would either fly out to Houston, and there was no sexual relationship that went on. That was something we mutually agreed upon.
Mm-hmm.
And, but when I came out to here, we had a good time. When he first came to Arlington, we did go out and eat. He did spend a little do-re-mi. We had 2 dates actually that date. But even when I met him, I really still didn't know if that's somebody that I would still date long term, because again, I was talking to other people as well. And he was aware of that.
Awesome. Okay. So at what point did you know you wanted to marry him?
Well, as we began to spend time, we sat down, we talked about different things, and mainly because he was looking for a mate. And I had been divorced for like 20 years at that point. And it's like, okay, this was one time maybe I would consider being married. And then one day as I was came down, and he came and he said, you know what? I think we ought to get married. And honestly, I was a little bit shocked because I was totally surprised. But he said, I know what I want. And I just really made up my mind that I want you to be that person. And he said too that he had to clean up some things too, because he was still dating other people.
Mm-hmm.
But he said he had to clean up some of his secrets.
Okay. So so how long was it? How long did you guys date before you got engaged or before you got married?
6 months.
You said 6 months?
6 months. We got engaged in, let me see, I met him in July. And so we were engaged by that November.
Okay.
Because we got, October, because it was about 3 months after that, because we got married in January of 2015.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So would you say that there were any red flags that you would identify when you guys were dating? And if so, how did you address them, or did you address them?
Well, it was a couple times, and he called me another person's name. And we were engaged at that point. And I asked him, I said, you know what, maybe we need to slow it down, because I was married to my ex-husband was, XYZ many years, and I've never called you his name. And so this has been twice you call me this person's name, but the person's name was so similar to his wife that died. His wife that died was Carol, but he was calling me Carolyn. And I didn't connect the dots until after we were married.
Okay.
But I would have, only thing I wish I would have done is given him more time. I think time is important. And I think if I would have given it a year, I think some of the things that eventually that I found out, I would have found out in that extra time.
Okay. So talk to us a little bit about your marriage, and then also go into when did things begin to shift for you?
They shift very quickly.
Okay.
January 21st, 2015. And I came home Valentine that same year. And this young man was at my house, and he said, well, I'm going to take this person home. Somebody had been doing some work. My husband was on disability. And so I did not see my husband till 10:30 that night. And it was like, okay. And he gave me this excuse, bought roses, bought a candy, bought teddy bears, bought the whole shebang. Little do I know. And then after that, it was doing President's Weekend. We ended up going, he said, let's get up the next morning. Let's go to San Antonio. We went to San Antonio, had an awesome time. But at the same time, the person that I am, I still begin to wonder, something is not right.
Okay.
And as time went on, March of that couple months after, I did something that Jocelyn, I don't know, Elder JJ, I don't know, I don't regret doing, because it gave me insight on what was going on. And I put a tape recorder in my home. And that's when I found out he was actually still talking to somebody after being married for 2 months.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And how did you handle that?
I addressed it with him. I asked him, he had no idea how I knew the information, but I waited for about a couple weeks to make sure that I wasn't making a mistake on what I was hearing. And I addressed it with him. And he told me, well, this was a person that had, she had done work for him, and she was just a friend. And me moving down from a place that I didn't know nothing about, maybe, but then I kept going over the conversation that I was listening to. And it's like, nope, this is more than just a friend. Mm-hmm. And things just did not add up. So at that point, I'm devastated. I'm devastated. I'm embarrassed. We had a nice size wedding, spent a lot of money. I don't know what to do. I don't know. I didn't know what to do.
Did you guys do marriage counseling before getting married and after?
We didn't do it after we were married, because he refused to go to marriage counseling after we were married. But before we were married, we done marriage counseling. And, and being the fact that he had been married 3 times, and this was the 4th time, and he said that I got him at his best, and he understood what his role was as a husband, but his role as a husband was a provider. And as long as I was providing, I should have been okay. But I could provide for myself, though.
Yeah.
So,
okay. Yeah. So, how long were you guys married?
We were married 2 years and 2 weeks.
Okay. So tell us, after you found out about, the infidelity, there were some other things that you found out as well, correct?
I found out that he was an alcoholic. Mm-hmm. I found out that there was mental illness that was in his family, and but he did not want to be labeled as a person with mental illness, so he went untreated for that, and I think he used the alcohol to cope with it, in which that became a very serious problem for me.
Right. Is that the reason why you say that you wish you would have taken more time, during dating, and because you would have had more opportunity for those to be enlightened, or those things could have been revealed before you actually made a commitment to marriage?
That along with, I don't know if y'all have ever dealt with, and I'm not knocking him, I'm just speaking truth. I believe that when a person believes the lies they tell, they become a professional liar. And when it becomes so good and they believe what they say, and you don't know any better, you just take it for face value. Well, it may be, that question mark come up. But I wish I would have taken more time and spent more time. I have a wonderful sister-in-law that we are very still close. And she shared a lot of stuff with me. And I think I would have, if I would have been able to spend more time. But what he did, he isolated me from people that knew him. And I think it's very good to know if you know somebody that know the person that you're talking to, it is very important that you get their insight on how they feel this person is.
That's really good. So accountability while dating is extremely important, and having someone that you can kind of bounce some things off. I think, I was dating someone a few months ago. Well, no, last year. And I think one of the red flags that I totally missed is when he didn't want to meet any of my friends.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was so smitten, I probably, didn't see it, but my friends probably would have been able to sniff, certain things out, because, they didn't like him. I mean, there were no feelings, involved. How important do the rest of you, Elder Jay, Jeff, and Doris, do you think accountability is, while you're dating?
I think it's real good. I have four accountability partners, and they're all of pastors and ministers, all females. And one of the things, when we talked about on the other live is, how do you utilize them, or what are they good for? Like I said in that live, when you're younger, there's things that you don't see that they can see. Sometimes, like Sandra said, you can be so smitten in love with even the ideal of having somebody in your life that you miss stuff. But when you get to our age, I think the important for me, the accountability person, they remind me what I already know.
Right.
They remind you of your standards. They remind you of the core values and where you are in ministry and what you should and shouldn't do. They don't judge you. They just remind you of what you already know. And I'm talking about especially those people that are in Christ.
Right.
So I think it's very important. I think they're very important. I was telling Lawrence the other day, I have, one of them is in Virginia, but the rest of them are here in Texas. And they definitely want to lay eyes on him. And I want them to. Because these folk pick up stuff in the spirit that I couldn't even pick up with a broom and a dustpan.
But you know what, Elder JJ, is so important, because after this whole situation happened, my daughter came to me and she said, Mom, I saw some things. And I said, well, why didn't you tell me? She said, I didn't know how you was going to receive it. I said, but I'm your mom. I would think you had my best interest at heart. But she said she just didn't know how I would receive it. But she said something just didn't add up.
But you know what? And that's true. A lot of times people can see things and know things, and they won't say nothing because they want you to be happy. They don't want to, you know what I'm saying? And they don't want to mess up your, what you got going on. But then at the same time, sometimes when you tell people, they think you either hating or they think you, what's the other word? They think you either hating or you don't want them to get married because you ain't in that place. And and I'm not taking nothing away from that, but when I went to Sandra's wedding, I didn't feel right. I mean, I was looking at that dude up and down. I was looking at my auntie's face when they looked at him. I looked at her oldest son's face when he looked at him. I was looking at everybody because I was trying to see if anybody was flinching or seeing anything. And I said, all I did was just pray. I said, okay, God, it's in your hands.
Yeah. But you know what? It's like for me and Doris, when I started bringing her around my family, I would ask, my family, what do you think about Doris? She met my grandma, she met my mom, all my aunts, everybody sized Doris up for me to let me know, okay, yeah, we like her. And it meant a lot to me to see what they thought, and also ask my kids what they thought. Of course, Doris is not going to replace their mother, but she was going to become the person that I was involved with, and I really wanted to know how they felt about it. I had to go through Doris's, daughter. What do you think about him? If she would have said no, that would have been it. But I would rather you tell me up front and say, you know what, you might not like what I'm going to say to you, but it's what I feel about that person. I'd rather you tell me now than we can get down the road, and then now I'm sitting here like, I wish you would have told me.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you know what? My mom told me. She said, he not the one. And I was like, Mom, you just tripping. But she said, he is not the one. And I just thought my mom was being overprotective. But she was spot on.
Why you didn't tell me Vivi said that? She be on.
I know she be on. She missed it. I mean, and like I said, I just assumed that, no, Mom, no, but when I say spot on, she was spot on.
But you know what? You think about it. When you look in the mirror, you only see what you see.
Right.
Yeah.
Other people will see things that you don't, because I'm gonna act a certain way around you, but then when I'm around your friends, I'm not gonna act the same way.
Right.
Because I'm trying to get you to see me and like me.
See, that's what happened. He was, when I say a perfect gentleman, I mean, it was after a week after I met him, my air conditioner went out. What'd he do? Borrow me money. Get your air fixed. Go stay at a hotel. I got air. I don't want you to be hot. You know, cards, jewelry, baskets. I mean, he was sending something every single week for months.
So it sounds like he was covering up who he was by the gift.
He was.
And the hospitality.
Right.
Yeah. And if I can add this, speaking of accountability, my mentors, I took Jeff to their house, and they are pastor and associate pastor and wife. And because I wanted their feedback, I wanted them to size him up, talk to him, ask questions, and they did that on a couple occasions. And I was very pleased. You know, I had other feedback that some was wondering, well, why being such a rush? And there was naysayers, but I knew what I felt in my heart. And then my mentors, that they didn't feel any negative vibe or get anything negative from him, and so I went with my gut. And so,
okay. We have about 13 more minutes left, but I definitely want to get to Elder Sandra to tell us how your marriage ended.
Well, my marriage actually ended when my husband committed suicide. At least that's what the coroner said. I happened to wake up one night about 2:00 in the morning. At that point, my marriage was over, because in the course of 2 years and 2 months, my husband filed for divorce 5 times, spent over $10,000. He would go file for divorce, and within 2 weeks, cancel. File for divorce.
This came back from a search.
And cancel. And one morning I woke up about 2:00 in the morning, and I had moved out of my bedroom at that point. And I had agreed to go and give him the divorce he wanted. And I got ready to get in bed, and the Holy Spirit said, go check on your husband. And I was like, no, I'm not going to check on him. He's just going to cuss me out. And he's like, no, go check on your husband. As soon as I opened that door to we have attached garage, smoke come out. He was a mechanic. He worked on cars. And I actually found him kneeled over and tried to revive him, but there was no reviving. He was already deceased at that point. The coroner ruled it a suicide, even though his alcohol limit was twice the limit, but they still ruled it a suicide. And I don't know if it's because the detective talked to people, because he called some people in the course of 3 or 4 hours before I went to bed. So I don't know if it's something they told him, but I know November 2016, my husband started saying, I'm tired and I'm ready for God to take me. I don't care anymore. So that's all I know. But I did find him, and they did rule it a suicide.
Okay. And how did you process all of that?
It was hard, because I wish it hadn't ended that way. I wish I could have helped him. But then I realized, in order to help somebody, they got to want help.
That's right.
Yeah. And my husband didn't want help. I tried to get counseling. I tried to get him to go to AA. The woman wasn't the issue. She was a person that drunk. She was just what is enabler. But at the same time, he knew every time that he would always apologize. I left like 3 times, but he would always apologize. I'm going to do better. I don't want that person, this, that, and the other. But what commonality that they had, they were drinkers. We were not drinkers. And so I'm at work all day. And so when I get off work, he done been all day. They have been drinking. I would come home and I would find him drunk in bed. And I told him, I'm tired of coming home to a drunk. And especially for a person that do not want help. I'll help you. But again, if a person don't want help, you can't help them. And so I ended up going to counseling. I went to a Christian counselor, which was the best thing that I could have done, therapist that I could have done for myself. And like she told me, because a lot of people say, you were so stupid. Why did you stay in that marriage, that length and all of this kind of stuff? But like she said, you wanted your marriage to work. And Absolutely. It was okay that you wanted to, you put the work in. And at the end of the day, you have to make the decision, to leave that person. Nobody can make that decision for you. And you can only go by what a person tells you. But then at the same time, action speaks. They say actions speak louder than words. When a person's actions are not lining up with what they're saying, that's when you really have to take self-evaluation and say, there's a problem.
Absolutely. Some people just don't know what to say, in certain situations. And it's so easy for people to tell you what they would and could do in your situation, but you don't know what you would do, if you were in my same situation or something similar. It's easy to give advice when you're on the outside looking in.
Right. That's right.
That's right.
I actually want to go over to the chat because, I see a lot of comments. Anik mentioned the PPP that you talked about when you were talking about Ruth and Boaz. Could you tell us those 3 P's again?
A plan, protection, and provision.
Yes, a plan, protection, and provision. Somebody type that into the chat for me. Andrea says respectful communication and honesty is important. Preacher Francis says, like a fox lay in the woods and wait, it shall be revealed. Let's see, Andrea also said that people prepare for weddings instead of preparation for marriage. Please prepare for marriage more to see if you have what it takes long term. Let's see. What else? Slow down to hear God, to help decision making. It is your responsibility at the end of the day. Straight and call it out. Yeah, be upfront. Let's see. Anything else? Yes, and there it is. Plan, protection, and provision. Thank you for typing that out for me, Erica. I have one more question that I actually like to end the session with today. So, what online dating mistakes do you believe Christian women make? And I actually want all of us to chime in on this. This can be, based on your personal experience or based on, an experience someone told you about.
Keep it simple.
Say that again.
Keep it simple. You don't have to put your whole wants and needs, and because what people do, they will prey on what you say you are looking for. So if you keep it simple, then that almost leave it to the imagination. People have to work to get to know you. But if you put it out there all the first time, the work doesn't come in. And you don't even know if it's true. So when you just keep it simple, just put enough out there to get somebody in. Because if they're interested, men anyway, they are visual. So if they like what they see, they go reach out to you anyway. Mm-hmm. So, but if you just need to keep it simple, because people will prey on what you say that you're looking for.
Right.
And Jeff and Doris?
Well, I would say not to be too picky, you know, wanting the tall, dark, handsome, or whatever, you know. Sometimes you could get the short, round, whatever. And also, another thing I would say is build a relationship, build a healthy relationship first. And that comes with courting and laughing and getting to know one another on a lighter note before you get serious. Just a healthy friendship.
All right, her first P was playing, right? So you've been single for a while. So why are you trying to plan on being married as quick as you get there? So take your time. It's a process. So
Yes.
the rush to get there. Now, if he's serious about really getting to know you, that might not take as long as you've been single. You know what I'm saying? When I finally found Doris, it didn't take me long to to make up my mind. But going out to date people, I didn't rush anything. I took my time getting to know everybody. I had somebody for everything. If I wanted to go to the movies, I knew who I could take. If I wanted to go to a concert, I knew who I could take. But I wanted to find somebody that met all the criteria, and that took some time.
Yeah.
So that P planning, you need to take your time and plan to try to meet somebody that's worth your time. Because if not, you're gonna find the wrong one.
I had all the qualities.
You had them all. I checked you all.
I like Jeff. Jeff is strategic. I waiting on Jeff, baby.
Jay, Doris, I be trying to get my thoughts out. Sometimes she be like, I said, why are you rushing me? I'm slow to speak. I said, I don't put it in my mind what I want to say.
My friend is like that. But he be slow to speak, and I be trying to hip him out, and I'll start another conversation. He's like, well, if you just let me answer.
And of course, my husband thinks he's a life coach too. I always take it at Ivy. He's a life coach.
Do I not give you
relationship coach, I should say.
Yes, I love talking to your husband.
Yes.
Yeah, it's always, a learning. I always get little nuggets when I talk to Jeff. So I love listening to him.
I might need to send some questions to Jeff through you, Ivy, because I got a few questions I would love to listen to his thought on.
Hey, but you know what, Elder J? I have been right so far.
Really?
I have been right.
But can I say something on that planning? No, you have to remember the story of Boaz. Boaz knew Ruth. He had got the 411 on Ruth. And so he didn't know how he was going to end up. But he was in that position based on the rank in the authority that he had. So when you plan that because a lot of times what women do, we are quick, we're set on go to get married. But it's the man that has to make that final decision if that's the person, because we're already set on go, to get the relation started. But when a man has make sure that he has a plan and a goal and a vision for your life, that's what I'm speaking about.
Right.
Because if you don't have a vision and a plan for your life after you have made that decision that this is the person, then there's a problem, because because you can't lead me if you don't know where you're going.
You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? My girlfriend in Texarkana always says, God will allow the presentation to be made that's coming from the man. But it's up to you whether or not you're willing to sell for that.
Right.
Absolutely. So we're focusing on online dating do's and don'ts. And I have 3 do's and 3 don'ts that I would like to end with. And you guys can, chime in and tell me, what you think about my do's and don'ts.
Girl, let me put my glasses on for this one.
You're so silly. So the first online dating do I have, and I actually think that we've all kind of, touched on all of these just in the midst of the discussion. So I think I may be in the spirit just a little bit.
Oh,
so
Lord.
the first online dating do I have is to be open to the process.
Okay.
Somebody put that in the chat for me. Be open to the process, because it is just that. It is a process. Right. It's not going to happen overnight. It's just not going to happen overnight. The second thing I have is to be intentional. And what I mean by be intentional, it means that determine what is it you want out of the online dating experience.
Somebody with some sense.
What is your goal?
Is that the third one?
No, this is the second one. The first one, the first one was be open to the process. The second one was be intentional.
Okay.
My last do is be realistic. And we kind of talked about this earlier. Because you're not going to be the only one. I think Jeff proved that for all of us tonight. And also Elder Sandra. Everybody dated, multiple people, at the same time, just getting to know and then separating the wheat from the tare during the process.
But you know what? When Lawrence and I met, we wasn't dating nobody else. So what's your come on, talk to me, Jeff.
I just disagree with the second thing she said. That's my personal opinion. No, because her intentions might want to get married. That's your long-term goal. You would love to be married. But right now, your intentions is to meet a person. And if you plan with the process, you know what I'm saying?
Well, right. I think what she mean by be intentional with your desire. Some people may not want to be married.
Right.
Yeah. But you got to let them know up front. Look, I ain't fall that. I'm just doing this here.
And see, I really look at intentional is you're doing it on purpose. Whatever you're doing you're doing it because that's what you're wanting to do. If you want to go out on a date, I want to see this person. And so that's how I read the intentional part of it.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So I'm in being intentional. I'm still going to be open to the process. I'm not going to rush things.
Right.
I'm not going to,
That makes sense.
Yeah. But I don't think I can do that.
I want to be married. You might scare me off right now because right now I just want to know who you are.
Yeah, you can't tell nobody that on the first date.
But they do.
Get a second one.
You know what? I met a guy. You know what he told me? I just want somebody to sleep with. That's it. I
met somebody like that too. Honest. I met somebody like that too.
Not that I agree with his, but if that's he being honest, he said I work on the railroad. I just want somebody that I can hook up with every now and then.
He talking about hook up because he work on the railroad.
he said I just want to. He work on the railroad. He said when I come into town, I want somebody I can just want to hook up with.
That brother used to them caboose.
But I can respect him because that's what he was looking for.
Yeah, you have to respect that. He's being honest.
Yeah, I respect him when they're being honest.
I just think you as an individual, how you deal with that. It's up to you how you deal with that. Is that what you're looking for? Then that would be a perfect connection. I mean, somebody tell you that, and
well, he told me that and told me he worked on the railroad. I told the brother, I ain't no caboose.
But with that, I want to make sure because sometimes women, we think we project managers sometimes, and we try to change people. So we will hear a man say, all I want is somebody to sleep with, or I'm not looking for marriage. But in the back of our minds, we think that there's some magic potion we got and we can change his mind and we're going to try to turn him into a husband so he can make us a wife. So don't do it.
Turn him into a Freddy Krueger.
You know what? I told them on Sunday, I said, lady, is more to you than your hips, lips, and fingertips.
Yeah.
What's in your head? Can you think? Can you make decision on paying bills? Because I work for a company and I see people that their husband has died. They can't make decisions. So you got to have some smarts about yourself.
Absolutely.
And Mother Battles at our church, she would always tell us, it's only coffee. Don't go buy a wedding dress. It's only coffee.
Absolutely.
See what I'm saying?
That's true.
So, all right, let me do the dating don'ts and then we'll wrap up. So my dating don'ts, the first one is don't assume anything.
Correct.
Don't assume anything. Ask questions. Be clear about what you know expect, and then listen to what he says and what he does.
Yes.
Is that number 2?
That's number one. All that was under assume. Don't assume anything.
Right.
Number 2, and I think Elder Sandra just said this: do not be naive.
Mm-hmm.
People have different agendas dating online.
Right.
Right.
So
Oh, yeah.
your focus is to decipher through the agendas that don't match with yours.
Exactly. That's
And
true.
then the last one is do not give away too much too soon. And Elder Sandra, I believe you said that too, about exposing too much information so that that other person becomes what you say you want.
Absolutely.
Okay, say number 3 again.
Number 3 is don't give away too much too soon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, say that one more time.
Hey, all right, on that last point, remember I told you you should never give out your phone number? I'll
Yes.
take your number and I will call you from, I will block my number. And the more, if I want to talk to you, I will call you. And I will give you every chance to earn my number. But if I give you my number, you can call me anytime and you can just harass me.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have my number and you block yours, the more you get used to me, eventually you can unblock it. But right now, you want to find out who I am and let them know, hey, I'm going to call you, and this number will say unlisted or whatever. But I need to earn the chance to speak to you.
Wait a minute, Jeff. What do you mean? Who blocked somebody?
No, what I'm saying is before I give you give me your number, because a man will ask for a phone number quick.
Mm-hmm.
But if you say, well, I'll tell you what, give me your number and I'll call you.
I don't mind giving a number because my blocking works real good.
Yeah, I mean, but at the same time, I shouldn't have to block you.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying if the conversation go off the track, or the relationship is going somewhere it don't need to go, and I'll block your number. I block you from calling me, and I delete your number. We good.
Mm-hmm.
So
You will find some fools out there, because the first guy that I met told me, take down your profile. Excuse me?
Wow.
He said, I know what I want, and I want you to take down. And he got so bad, I did have to block his number.
Wow.
Red flag.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Did he send you a picture of some shoes?
Huh?
Did he send you a picture of some shoes?
Not
There's a guy did me like that. He started telling me to take my profile down, and I know you the one. God showed me in a dream, and he don't you like shoes? Looked like he went to the mall and every female shoe department. He took pictures of shoes and started sending me pictures of shoes.
No, I didn't meet him, Jay.
I told him, I said, boy, I ain't wore pumping on no wing. Since I fell down them stairs at the Potter's house, I broke my ankle, eh? Them don't like shoes.
Just a tip for those who don't want to give your phone number, you can use Google Voice, and you can get a phone number through Google Voice. It is free. If you have a Google email account, you can get a Google Voice phone number, and all you have to do is download the app on your phone and call through Google Voice. So
Google Voice?
Yes, and that's a way for a person not to have your real phone number.
Okay, now is that a voice? Is it like a voice call?
No, it's actually a phone number that you can give them, and it will call your phone. Or you can go in, or you can go in.
We're trying to reach your party.
Huh?
What Pastor say?
We're trying to reach your party. We'll get back with you in a second.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't get it.
I'm old. I done took a nap.
Yeah, I mean, if I can earn that right to see you, because I'm meeting you online, I'm gonna start at the first. I'm gonna type you something, and Sister Sandra was saying, I can read everything about you and finesse it, but at the end of the day, I got to be able to get your attention.
Right.
And if I don't have your attention, you're gonna sit here and move to the side because there's somebody else that wants it.
Right.
So either I'm gonna step up and be the person that I'm supposed to be, or you're gonna forget all about it.
Somebody asked the question and said, "Can they find your address from your phone number online?" If it's, I don't think so. If it's a cell phone, but possibly if it's a home phone number and it's listed, they could.
Yeah, you can go to people search, and it will give you a person's name and every phone number that's listed to that person. If you got a home number, very few people have home numbers these days, but you can use. There's different Zaba search. People can find out your address. They can find out anything they want about you if they choose to.
Yeah.
Well, I wish they would.
All right, ladies.
Look, I'm LTC.
What's LTC?
What is it?
License to carry. y'all know from Oak Cliff, Texas.
Yes. Okay. Oak Cliff is like Betty's Ford in Charlotte.
Oh, she gonna say, "Oh."
Exactly. Guys, this has been an amazing evening. I have thoroughly enjoyed, each one of you, to Elder Sandra and Jeff and Doris. Thank you guys so much for being open and sharing.
Thank you all. It's such a blessing.
Sharing your experiences with us. Before we leave, does anybody have any lasting thoughts or comments they like to share before we end today's or this evening's session? Just about, online dating, period, or just, from your experience?
Well, I just want to say I love Jeff and Doris. Yeah, I love Sandra. I've been knowing Sandra all my life. It's family. But Jeff and Doris is such a blessing. He looked like my cousin named Anthony. But yeah, I'm gonna need to talk to him some more. I got a couple of questions offline I really need to ask him.
So
they're such a blessing. But I do appreciate all of you guys coming on.
The only thing that I think I shared this with you, Ivory. Online dating is just like meeting people. You just got more of a variety, but the principles and the decisions have to be made are still the same. Still the same. You just got a variety of people, but the process is still the same. If I met somebody through somebody or however I met, the process is still the same. And I think time is everything. Timing is everything. Take your time.
Well, after this one, I don't want to meet nobody else. Let's not go to the willing workers at the church, the willing worker circle.
Just one question came up. How to break into online dating if you've never experienced it?
Sign up.
Yep. Yeah. You gotta sign up and put yourself out.
What Sandra said was keep it simple. You ain't got to put your whole life history out there. Just say a couple things about yourself. Take maybe 1 or 2 pictures. You ain't got to give me a whole bunch of pictures about you.
Right.
No, don't be doing them twerking poses and stuff.
I don't need to see it.
Yeah, just give a little headshot, answer 2 or 3 questions, and keep it moving. If they really want to know some more about you, they inquire.
Yeah. That was a good question, Paula. And 2, I would also say you want to let certain people, like close people that whenever you're going on a date, kind of know where you are and give a first name of who you're meeting or something. Let them know that you're going out with a stranger, basically.
Now, y'all not gonna believe this, but I have actually gotten people driver's license number and texted to my cousins. I ain't going nowhere without you. And then when I get to the place and they drive up, I take a picture of their license plate and send it back.
I have
a guy that live next door to me. He's an agent, a Secret Service agent. I done send him information. He done look folks up for me.
Yeah.
But there's an app, I don't have it right now, where you can do a criminal background check, which I did do one on my husband, because you never know when there's pedophiles, people have sexual assaults or whatever against them. And there is a website that you can get, which is free, and you can get, but I can't remember it right now, but it can give you the history. of a person.
Well, wherever you go, make sure somebody know where you're going, because what we don't do as a race of people, we don't burn no candles and look for each other late at night.
Well,
Kumbaya circle. We're not doing none of that. So
well,
let
And
somebody
if you
know where
think
you're
about
going.
that's exactly what I was saying. Yeah. Let
Yeah.
somebody know.
Yeah, before you let somebody know, before you even choose to meet them, keep talking to them online for a while, because a person can't hide who they really are.
That's true.
The more you
Yeah.
talk, they're gonna slip up. I know, I'm a man. You're gonna slip up and say the wrong thing. You're gonna forget about who you talking to. You're gonna call Doris. You're gonna call her Jane, and you'll be like, oh, if I'm intentional on what I'm doing, I'm gonna know who I'm talking to. I'm gonna remember what she said to me. I'm gonna know some things. I'm gonna have my little list of who is Doris. I'm gonna know what I like. I can't lose it. So I'm gonna make the right decision.
Absolutely. I saw one question there. Someone asked it, when is the next session?
Didn't I tell you?
So right now, I'll say that the next session is going to be tentatively scheduled for May 21st. Not sure what the topic is going to be. If you have any suggestions of anything that you'd like for us to talk about during the next session, please make sure you send me a message through my Singlesations page, and we will take that information and consider it. We have been talking about actually a few things, so we have some things in mind, but we haven't made a decision yet. I think that's it. Thank you guys again so much for joining us tonight. I have enjoyed reading the comments throughout the chat. And thanks again. Have a good evening and a great weekend.
All right, you too.
You all be blessed.